Hello, good evening, and welcome to the No Exit Experience, where everybody gets a chance to talk and no one is excluded, with the exception of those who trample on the speech of others. It is a show where all topics are welcome and no one is censored from giving their honest views on those topics. If you can handle that, then hop on the bus. You're in for a wild ride. My name is Jason. I'm the bus driver. My passengers today are Vanessa, Richard, Robbie, and we have Tom Windsor Mountbatten on the tiller. So let's get right to it. Tom, can you pull up a picture of Jimothy the raccoon? I wanted something good to start with. Because I don't know if you've heard about this raccoon in Seattle. He has some genetic deformity, and it's probably a short spine syndrome, but he doesn't seem to be in any pain, and he's not debilitated in any way. But he just has this look about him. And there's a trick on Google, too, so much so that if you go to Google and you put Jimothy, like Timothy with a J in, and hit enter, you'll see something. And then you'll see something again if you hit a button. I don't want to give it away because that will ruin the fun. But just go to Google and look up Jimothy. So that's all. Because if you've heard of this raccoon, he looks a little goofy, but he's a raccoon. You know, he eats garbage. Yeah, that's him.
What in the world?
Yeah, that's him. Because he's got the short spine syndrome, so he kind of does like this hopping thing. But he's a raccoon. He eats garbage. And that was what the evolutionary biologist said, is that the den mother, she did a really good job raising him, because even though he is different, he's functional. So I don't know if anybody has anything to say about that. I'm just talking about, I'm happy I didn't run over a chipmunk when I was going home today from Tim Hortons.
Who, Alvin, Simon, or Theodore?
Not
Chipmunks?
a one.
Huh.
No, that
Or Chip and Dale. There's many famous chipmunks.
Well, I mean, raccoons are used to being on 2 feet too. Like when they stand up, they have their feet or their paws are pretty good at gripping.
So are grizzly bears.
Yeah, they're very good at gripping. I just don't want to get hugged by a grizzly bear.
Well, what is it they say about black bears get up and yell, brown bears, grizzlies play dead, polar bears, you are dead. Hey, I mean, that's what I can't fault a black mamba or a polar bear, because that's what they do. They're just living their lives,
Yeah, I thought the polar bears lived in the North Pole and drank Coca-Cola like on the commercials.
No, what they live at the North Pole, yes, but because of global warming, the
It's melting. Yes.
yeah, and they drown. They're trying to swim from ice floe to ice floe, and they can't make it. They get tired, they drown.
Well, they should have just moved to Buffalo. I mean, our winters are pretty cold here.
Yeah, they like it here.
Do you know what a Detroit popsicle is?
I don't want to know.
Is it a sex act?
Is it like the odd ice cream?
No, it's nothing. It's when a homeless guy falls in a puddle and freezes to death, and his legs are sticking out.
Oh, boy.
That happens enough that it has a name. So, yeah.
So can I ask you a question about wildlife?
Go ahead, fire away.
The conventional belief used to be that wildlife suffers from loss of habitat.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a new way of looking at it, and that is wildlife is adapting to their habitat. So, for example, wild boar, in the sections of the country where you have them, they're moving into the suburbs. And so you have a lot of hunters in Texas. They were shooting them, but they're very smart, and they decided, well, what if we come in the middle of the night? There's no hunters in the middle of the night. So now they roam the neighborhoods looking for food in the middle of the night. But if you think about the way wildlife is adapted, deer come out in the middle of the night, they eat people's shrubbery.
Yeah, we have a lot of rabbits where I am.
Birds seem to be fine. They have no problem with the cities. Even owls are in New York City. And if you think about all the animals that have adapted to the way humans live, do you think it's going to keep increasing? Like bear are now starting to come into the suburbs and stuff like that?
I do, because the Ur example is those 2 moths in the UK before and after the Industrial Revolution. When everything was white, the one moth was prevalent. But then when all the soot came, the one that was black became prevalent. Mm-hmm. That right there was a quick change within 10 years. And so absolutely. I mean, there's a meme of a guy said, I fell asleep drunk in London. I fell asleep drunk on a bench and I woke up to this, and there's a fox there pulling on his pant leg. So,
Do you think the solution for humans is to peacefully coexist or to murder them?
well, that's the thing. That's the problem they have in Amherst, because you can't have it both ways. You can't say, "Oh, leave the deer alone," but then, "Oh, I spent $7,000 on gardening, and the deer ate it all." Well, one of these things doesn't fit with the other. So,
Yeah, I look at it this way. Like I was in Boy Scouts. We took over their. This was all trees before we put up houses. This is their habitat, much as ours. You know.
and I didn't agree with Rush Limbaugh on anything except one thing. If you think shooting deer is bad, if you want to see real horror, watch an animal starve to death.
That sucks.
Yeah, that starving animals are not attractive. And as far as the wild boar, it's not just here, because there's a show on HGTV that is in France about an American woman and her husband. She inherited a castle, so it's called Castle Impossible as they build it up. Well, they see a little baby peccary, a little baby boar, and it's so cute, but the hair on the back of their neck goes up because Mama is somewhere around. So they ran the hell away, because what does a wild boar have that a pig doesn't?
Tusks, right?
Yeah, and you know what tusks will do to you? They'll add a level of hurt
Oh boy.
beyond, if this sucks, the pig will eat you, the peccary will gut you. And a razorback. Arkansas, a razorback is a wild pig. People say, what's a buckeye? What's a razorback? A buckeye is like an acorn or a chestnut.
Yeah.
Or I thought it was a badger.
No.
But
a buckeye?
No,
a buckeye.
That's what
buckeye
grows on
is
a tree. Like
a buckeye
near
is
Ohio.
a chestnut, a horse chestnut. So these names that or like a Nittany lion. There haven't been lions in the Nittany Valley for a couple hundred years.
And why do they call their stadium Beaver? Oh,
Called what?
if they're called the Nittany Lions, they call their stadium Beaver Stadium in Penn State.
I don't know if that was named after somebody or if named after the beaver that in the area. I'd have to look that up.
Or they probably built the stadium.
No, that would be just a damn shame. I'm proud of that one. Okay. Anything else? Have anything on wildlife? But at the same time, I'm team animals. That if you say, "Oh, this is so cool," well, when you get gored by a bull or a bison and it guts you, that's what you get.
Or you fly around like that other dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's lucky that the horn didn't get him right here and throw him, just like bullfighters. And it's really cool what they do to the bulls in Spain with the bullfights. So when a bull gets a bullfighter, I say, heck yes, dude. So, all right, does anybody else have anything on wildlife? That's what I think. What do you think?
Very good.
I keep forgetting to say that. Okay, so Rob, I found this one intriguing. Is having a good heart a positive or negative? Do you mean like good-natured, or do you mean like a literal heart?
Well, good-natured.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like, because it's like I've had roommates, like different roommates in 6 years since like this decade started, and it's like two of them like I felt used and there's the other two basically were good people, but it's like every time you help these people out, someone will screw you right over, and it's like it questions a person of having a good-natured heart and that.
I got something to say about that, because like there's something there. There's one group of people that will take one grape. There's another one that will take them all. That instead of take one and pass it on, they'll take them all. Or if you have a box of Teddy Grahams, they'll eat the whole thing. And they think that that's the right nature. They think that's the right way to go, is to, because the Polish side of me, they push, like the Germans, they push in line. In the Pacific Islands, they'll let you in. They'll let you in the whole time. So the Hawaiian will never get to go in line because the Eastern European will push ahead of them. And it's the opposite sides of the same coin. One lets everybody in, one lets nobody in. And that's why, so it could be cultural, but also, I think that my own personal belief, which I don't have this based in I don't have it based in anything scientific. People are generally, if you take a person, they're a little bit selfish. Everybody's a little bit selfish. That's what I think. That's the way we've evolved for whatever reason. That's what I think, but I don't have any proof of that.
Maybe because of self-preservation, people do tend to have to be a little bit selfish to make sure that they survive. That could be like part of why that is.
Well, if you have two males and one female, the one has to gut the other male so he can get laid. No, really. I mean,
Well, let's say you were starving to death. And would you rather be starving to death and on the street in a poor neighborhood or a rich neighborhood?
that's a good question.
Huh.
Because chances are in a poor neighborhood, they will come out and help you.
That is actually true.
Whereas in a rich neighborhood, it's like, oh, get that scum away
We
from
call
me.
the cops.
But at the same time, I worked with a guy on the ambulance 30 years ago. He said a lot of inner city families teach their kids that it's okay to steal. You know, it's not as bad.
You mean they would come out and steal from you if you were starving, or doesn't have anything to do with it?
Well, they might not give you anything because all the stuff they have that they make up for the difference they have by stealing, so they don't have anything to give you.
Yeah, there's like a morality, like if it's a company or a corporation, it's okay to steal from that, but don't steal from an individual or someone you know, because that's different. There's like a morality to who you're stealing from that comes into play.
Although there was a guy with whom I went to med school, and he was in Brooklyn. He came out of a supermarket, and he had a couple of big jugs of Gatorade or Kool-Aid, whatever it was. And he said some young black guy came, ran up and grabbed one and ran away.
In this past winter, there was a snow emergency, and there was a Tops in the Hurdle Avenue area. They were
Elmwood? That one?
so I don't know the exact name. So the people who were at the Tops were like, oh well, we're stuck here. Now the store owner had to decide, well, they're stuck there, and we're stuck here. Should I just let them walk around and take whatever they want and eat for free, or should I charge them? What do you think of that? What would you do?
Culture is like culture because that's a good question. Because one thing is, you would hope people would limit themselves, but all you need is one person to gorge themselves or make a mess or throw stuff on the floor because whatever. It's like the guy at the Superdome who complained that the free water was warm.
So you have to make a choice, though. What would you do, Vanessa? Say, let the people wander around and take things to eat, so while we're riding this thing out.
Probably within reason, yeah.
Yeah.
I would set something up and say, "This is come here and get this. This is free."
Or even, you know, like Tops is now making pizzas, like, and that, so I'd cook them pizzas and like, here you go.
Oh,
go
that's
for it.
great.
Yeah.
Good idea.
And then, like, whatever they want to drink, like Pop-wise, because there's always a deal, I guess, at Tops. So it's like, here, you want Pepsi, Coke, here.
Well, then what happened at the same Tops is when the power failed. And then this very interesting story emerged where that meant that the coolers where the meat is stored,
Ooh,
what's going to happen to the meat?
gonna rot.
So the employees, do you mind if I finish?
Oh no, I was
Okay.
just pointing at you. I didn't say anything. Now you made me say something.
So the employees said to the store owner, oh, the solution is perfect. Take the meat, take it out the front door, just leave it in the snow. And do you know
Oh,
what
wow.
the store owner said? We can't do that. He said, why? Somebody might steal it.
So you'd lose it either way.
Well, that's a lot.
That's an example of you don't understand, you don't have your priorities right.
Right, because that's the Wyoming freezer. You just throw it in a snowbank outside.
Yeah, that's what I've learned during the winter time when my beer was warm, like during the fill season. Just put it outside for a while.
Yeah.
What beer do you like?
I head to the mountains and go to the bush.
Ooh, oh boy,
I know
quality.
it's a knockout version of Budweiser. And
Well, the peach flavored one was good that they had a couple years ago.
Well, I was reading an article about that. The reason why they like advertise like Coors or Bush, whatever, but ice cold is because they're very simple and there's nothing to enjoy about the flavor.
True, there isn't.
You know, and that's why people think that the British have. Because I just read this week. People think that the British drink their beer warm. No, it's about 40 degrees because that's where you get anything that has any character. You'll get the flavors you're supposed to. Instead of ice cold, you get one. It's like Blaisdell Fire Department was known for at Southwestern Firemen's for their hot chili, but it was one note hot chili. There was no character to it. I mean, anybody could throw hot sauce and more hot heat in there and make it so it burns your tongue.
Just like a lot of cayenne pepper.
Whatever, whatever.
put some
Or
ghost pepper in there.
yeah, that's what I mean. And there's no character to that. It doesn't go anywhere. It's like if I took a splatter of red paint and said that's art. Well, I don't know. It's pretty simple, And if there was somebody who was like Pollock could do it and it would look
Yeah.
artful, but for me, I just go psst and say that's art. It's like taping the banana to the wall and saying it's art.
Oh yeah.
It probably is.
Well, art is
I
an act
understand
of
your argument.
human expression.
Is the art judged by the idea it represents or by the art itself?
I don't even know how to approach
Yeah, the
that.
concept or the execution.
Hey, I can
Or
only
both.
draw stick.
So you
figures.
probably studied that at RISD.
It could be either or both simultaneously.
So you can look at a very complex painting and then you could say, I could tell you exactly what this painting means to me, and you could tell a whole story about it. Or let's just say a painting with one line. You could say it represents the horizon. And then you could say, and the horizon means to me new beginnings. So did the art succeed in that it stimulated an idea in your mind?
Ah,
I think that means that the viewer that says that is more intellectual than the artist who put a line there and says, draw your own conclusion.
I mean, suppose there was they have, like a lot of buildings will have a motto, like Supreme Court has a motto on the outside of the building. I think they stopped doing that. But you could have a motto on an art gallery saying, we have succeeded if we have helped you think more.
So you think art should make people think?
I do.
All I know is there's a bunch. There used to be a bunch of those art or crap exams, and I would get 0 out of 10. The stuff that I thought was art, they'd say was trash, and the stuff that was trash, I'd say was art.
Oh, so what are what are an example?
No, I mean it was like there was some. It was a Michael Jackson sculpture thing that was like all spangly, and it was just it looked atrocious. But it was one of those things that it's so bad you can't look away. And I thought that was art. They said no, it's trash. Well, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's subjective.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Yeah, so again, that's where I go to. If you could put one of Basquiat's graffitis up on the wall, that's art. But the stuff he wrote on paper, simplistic and not artsy.
Sometimes it matters who does it. Unfortunately, there's like a hierarchy, or in the art world, if someone's like
Yeah.
got a reputation, it's often more about who's doing it
Yeah.
than the actual piece.
Well,
Yeah.
Banksy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the people that said Banksy's picture that was supposed to shred, and they shredded their own. That I remember one guy saying, "Well, now it was worth $1, or maybe I'll double my analysis. It's worth $2 now that you shredded it."
I mean, I got an artistic side. I draw stick figures.
Those are nice. I like stick figures. Simple.
Yeah, very
Effective.
simple.
Although I had a kind of a cottage industry of writing on the sheets in the hospital because I said they're just going to wash them. But when I was in Hawaii, the people, they really liked it. So I cut it out with my scissors and I gave them a piece of the sheet. They have this art on a blue pen on white sheet.
Oh, what kind of stuff would you draw?
The human body follows all the rules like engineering or electrical. Like V equals IR, Ohm's law absolutely applies in your body because you got the pump, you got the pipes, and you got the material that's pumped through it. So if that's electricity or if it's fluid, the same thing. And you got to follow all that. And so that's why anybody who was in construction or electronics, electricians, they could understand what was going on. Instead of thinking it's all foreign in here, and it's all secret material.
Yeah.
Because once you go around the merry-go-round once, then it makes sense. The first time, you're like, too much information. It was described by one guy in a book that med school is like, imagine what the first day, a dump truck backs up and dumps the richest, most fruitful manure on you and buries you in it. You only dig yourself out the next day, two dump trucks dump the manure on you.
Sounds like Biff from Back to the Future.
No, he was not. It's fruitful. It's not destructive. No, that totally misses the point, Robbie. That it's very rich manure, but you're buried
like for
in
growing in it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it's just getting buried. But once you go around once, then it makes sense. So that's why I could explain it and drawing the pictures, just drawing a diagram. It's almost like a schematic, and they really liked it.
Oh, cool.
So. It's not going to be hung in any art gallery anytime soon. But there's a woman I knew in. Weren't you telling me about the computer that they charged X for it and they said this is too cheap and they charged 10 times as much and then they sold them more of them?
I don't recall that about a computer, but there is that phenomenon. If you charge a lot of money, people think it must be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have a tissue. I'm bleeding. There's a woman that I knew in South Carolina who. Oh, thank you,
Thomas.
She did art, and
Anybody else?
for the jewelry that she made, I said you got to charge more because for what you're selling it for, that's not enough. And she couldn't understand that. She didn't think it was worth more. And I said, absolutely, because what is something worth? What people will pay for it. And if you sell one for $80, that's what it's worth, at least.
Sometimes people, like artists, have esteem issues, like because they made it, they think it's not as valuable as if someone else made it because of their internal perception of themselves and their value of themselves. So,
Or likewise, it's the persona, because like the people. Like when my roommate dies, all her art will be lost because she has it all. She either threw out a bunch of it or has it all password protected with nobody having the password.
Oh.
So it's just like Sir Richard Burton, not the actor, the guy who translated the Thousand Nights and a Night. He told his wife to burn all his papers when he died. I never understood that. And who was it? Kafka. He said to do it too, but they didn't. They didn't burn his stuff.
His best friend.
Yeah. So that's why we have that stuff that's good, because I can't understand you making art and then saying destroy it when I die.
Yeah.
I don't get that, because if you make it for yourself and you have it in a room, fine. But if you're showing it to me and then you say, but I'm going to burn it, and that's where the troubled artist, the pain, that's where I could see that, why that's how they represent it.
They don't want us to have their money. We could.
What?
Oh, they're dead. I mean, what the heck? Should sell we have a right to sell their arts.
All right, like you would make, the person would make
Instead of
money off
burning
it.
it.
Well, I'm thinking more artistic, like writing too,
Mm-hmm.
Like who didn't the guy who wrote A Confederacy of Dunces kill himself?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was
You know about the suicide?
I knew something about it before and I forgot now.
He waited till his last novel was finished. So he finished the last page, put in the end, and then hung himself over the typewriter so that when
Wow.
they found him, they'd say, oh, look, here's his last book.
I have a similar story from my own life. I was producing this one guy who did a one-man black metal project, and he played all the instruments on it, and it was exactly how he wanted it. And after we mixed it, he told me, he says, now that this is finished, I can kill myself. And we didn't really believe him because he had a lot of false suicide talk, but he actually did after he completed the album, because that was like his life's work, and he got it out, and he thought he had nothing else to give.
People that fake suicides fake seizures actually have seizures. And people that threaten suicide are going to do it sometimes. Even
Yeah.
sometimes it's dark humor But sometimes they don't mean to, but they still do it. They actually kill themselves, and that's, you can't laugh out loud at that. But there's a little bit of humor in that because you mess with the bull, sometimes you get the horns.
It's very appropriate we're discussing this because
Yeah.
Sal Monaco's cousin, who has been here a number of times, 37-year-old Sherry,
Yeah.
she died on Wednesday. And so you have a situation now where the funeral home lists, will be interred, so-and-so, express your condolences here. So no mention of the cause of death.
Well,
Often there
Okay,
isn't.
Okay. So there's that. The family is not telling anybody the cause of death. Okay. And say you die in a hospital. Well, the hospital will tell the cause of death. It has to go into their records. Do you mind if I finish talking? I know you're chomping at the bit here. So, but in this case, the coroner hasn't yet released the cause of death. Because I was talking to Sal. He said, we got to wait for the coroner's report, which means the following. She had already attempted 2 suicide attempts in the past. In both instances, somebody unannounced walked in on her, immediately called the ambulance or took her to the emergency room. So she was saved both times. So this would have been the third if this is what happened. And second of all, so she died on a Wednesday. On Monday, she called up one of her best friends, James Walker. Hi, James. How's everything going? Okay. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to check in with you. So it was this conversation of like, what's this conversation about? And it ended with her saying, yeah, so I know you're out of town, you're doing your job, but we should go to karaoke when you get back. Now, as soon as James Walker on Wednesday heard about her death, he said she tried it and nobody walked in on her. And that Monday phone call was her way of saying goodbye. So I said to Sal, when's the last time she called you? And he said, Friday. So that could have been the same thing. So, I mean, if you connect the dots, can you see a plausibility of a suicide?
yeah. Now, I was going to say, you think it's all very officious. No, I wrote out innumerable death certificates when I was an intern in New York doing internal medicine. I never did it in the ED. But we would just look at the chart and say, well, is this led to this, that? It wasn't any, no secret. But also, if the coroner's involved, that means she got autopsied because that's if there's a questionable death. But what had she done before? Overdose? Or, was she hanging by...
The first
Right.
time was slitting the wrists and going into the bathtub, and her daughter found her. The second time was overdose of her medication, and James Walker walked in on her and found her passed out, having puked. And he immediately took her to the emergency
Yeah.
room. And
Because there was an actor in the movie Bring It On. So if you watch that movie, you'd say, oh, I know who he is. But this guy, he died in 2002. The family wouldn't say why. Well, but then it was, if somebody found it on his death certificate, he overdosed, But they were too embarrassed to say that he overdosed.
Yeah, my friend that died in January. Well, he would get in an argument with his brothers and say, "Oh, I'm going to commit suicide," but he really never meant that. But then, at first, I questioned it because it was it sounded like he probably overdosed on his pain meds and that. But come to find out, he was taking these pain pills from a smoke shop, plus the hydrocodone. And it was became a lethal combination, so they called it an accidental overdose.
yeah,
Well, yeah, but
I know. And there's no way you can tell. On purpose or accidental. So the famous singer-songwriter Nick Drake, he died, took too much of his medicine. On purpose or accidental? You don't know.
only 1 out of 6 people, the last I knew, leaves a suicide note. So most of them are cryptic, and but in the obituary, rarely will they say you can tease some stuff out after a long illness. In lieu of flowers, donations to the American Cancer Society. That kind of tells you what it is. But otherwise, after a short illness, or just like the in the British, for the dudes that were gay, was his longtime companion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
That.
There was code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you really, from an obituary, you really can't tease much out. But also, even even when you look at the pathologist report, like a guy named Dean Fluss was the pathologist who autopsied Walt Disney, and it said carcinoma left lung. Yeah, that's what killed him. He's not in ice under Disneyland.
He isn't?
No, he's dead and buried.
Oh, they didn't cryogenically freeze him after all. Huh. Where did that myth come from?
Well, because Alcor Life Extension does that, but they.
I mean, did Walt Disney say he was going to do that?
No.
No.
No, but people are going to. Conspiracies sound better.
Yeah, they're more.
They're juicy. But Alcor Life Extension will have whole body, the ones that they made that they'll freeze people, or they use. If you don't have the money, they'll just cut your head off and put it in one of these dewars that
boy.
have the liquid nitrogen in them, but they're frozen to 200 below. Because the thesis is, when things are better, they'll rejuvenate you and they'll fix your problem. But if it's only your head, but like Ted Williams was in one, and then they didn't pay the money, and so they thawed him out.
Yeah, didn't Futurama pick on that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Well, that's the idea, but until we can get things on the molecular level, so much medicine will be beyond what we can do.
Oh, with the head, what do you think that they could maybe somehow take DNA and regenerate a body out of that to pair with the head? Or
I would
what?
think more like, just a guess, more likely would be a bionic body
Oh yeah, maybe
instead
like a
of
robot
building
body,
it. Yeah.
Or they would somehow rejuvenate the head, give it all the nutrition it needed to stay alive, so you could at least go and talk to the person.
But that would be creepy as hell.
Don't really have.
Now, they have something similar already, which is in existence right now, and that is if you want to preserve a loved one after they're dead, this company contact this company and they say, okay, have her say the following sentences. So there's probably 10 paragraphs that she has to say everything, and then record as many conversations as you can with her before she dies. Then when she does die, they put it all into an AI and they give it to you, and you're like, her granddaughter can say, Grandma, tell me a story about that'll help me sleep, and the AI will do it in the voice of the grandmother.
But that's just a simulation. That's not really the grandmother in any way.
I disagree, because if you're remembered, you live forever. As long as somebody remembers you, you live forever.
Oh, and if that's your
Wow,
definition.
that's something.
Okay.
Yeah, so in other words, your life is dependent upon other people's awareness of you.
Yeah, if you become a hermit and you die, you're gone. Nobody knows that you're there. But as long as you're remembered, you live forever. And they did that on Matlock this season, because one of the theses is that Matlock's daughter overdosed. But they did the AI thing, and she was able to talk to her daughter, and the daughter talked back to her and made sense.
And did it solve the crime?
It did, because it was piecing it together. Did you hear about the rogue AIs that escaped from a test and they went and they hacked another AI?
Yeah, I did. Did you hear about
No.
that, Rob?
No.
So the researchers said to the AI, basically, we're going to go to lunch. You figure this out, how to solve this problem. So they left, and while they were gone, the AI solved the problem by going on the internet, finding another AI, and hacking into it to find the answer.
Smart.
So
Well, I said, well, they would have to air gap it. But you know what the AIs would be smart enough to do? Synthesize a speech and say, call somebody and say, hey, this is Dave from wherever. It looks like we have an unconnected data cable. Can you plug that in for me? And using vernacular speech, and then they plug it in, and there they are. They're gone again.
So they contacted the company that got hacked, which is a very small company. And they said, well, here's the problem it was trying to solve. And the company said, well, wow, that's way beyond our scope. But we're flattered that the AI thought we would have the answer.
Or they were the low-hanging fruit. I wonder if that was the one too, because they were a
They
startup.
probably didn't have good internet VPN type, ways to keep out intruders.
But at the same time, maybe the AI is that strong, just brute forced its way in, and fistball beats them all. But yeah, that's the thing that's scary, that because they can synthesize the speech and it sounds clear and vernacular. And hi, this is Larry from IT. It looks like we have a switch that's off here, but right now I can fix it from here, but I need you to do that from there. And then they scam you into it and they make you do whatever you want. Because more human than human, the Terrell Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anybody? That's what I think. Does anybody else? What do you think about that?
Well, when you say that, what do you mean that? The
last topic, that talking about the AI.
Oh, no, I said everything I have to say about that.
Okay. Who didn't get a topic yet? Oh,
Me.
having a good camera will not make you Ansel Adams. I think that's kind of like self-evident. But
Yeah, there's a lot of people I know photographers who think they're good photographers because they own expensive cameras,
Yes.
but they're not necessarily skilled at their
Right.
craft.
Right.
That's like, even with guitars, like expensive guitar won't make you Jimi Hendrix, but like, I know photographers that personally that I don't think are very good at what they do, but they're always bragging about their equipment and
Yeah.
their expensive equipment. I must be a great photographer because I have like this $1,000 camera
Right.
and I can afford it. No, it's just that you can afford a great camera, but what are you doing with that great camera? Some people with lesser cameras can actually do better artistic work.
well, yeah, if you have a good photographer with a Kodachrome and you have a shitty photographer with a Leica,
Yeah,
this guy's gonna have a better picture, even though he's using trash equipment.
that's right.
I mean, and that's because that's the skill. It's like ultrasound. If you don't know what you're doing, you won't make any use of it. That's why if you get trained on it, you say, now I can look at the gallbladder, I can look at the heart, I can look at the lungs. You can look at the transcranial. It's all the same. It's operator error. It's like photoshopping. People can put it all on auto, and their Photoshop it's like, But like you or my roommate, you are the automatic, meaning you know all the things, the switches, all the little things to do to make it what you want, instead of being given all the auto functions.
Right.
Yeah, and I do know photographers, Vanessa, who brag about their equipment.
I do too, and many of those photographers, I'm not impressed with their work most of the time.
Well, I think you also have a high bar.
I do.
When
Where
and it's interesting. You said musicians, and
Yeah,
that's
musicians
true.
too. Mhm.
That's true. Where Isaac Stern, he gave a concert, then he did a meet and greet, and somebody came up to him and said, "Your violin plays beautiful music," and he just picked it up and he goes, "I don't hear anything." So it's not the violin.
Now, I don't know.
And a lot of times people will come up to you and you're taking a picture. Wow, great photo. What kind of camera do you have? See, they
Right.
think it's the camera.
Yeah.
When we were at Disney, my roommate would do that. People want to take pictures. Said, "Let me take it for you," and they would get great pictures because she knows how to do it, even on a phone.
Yeah.
I can't. But that's one thing I'm wondering. If you ever noticed, people in orchestras will have gold or silver or platinum flutes, and I wonder if those metals, which one gives you the best sound? Because
right.
if you have a platinum flute, that friggin' thing is heavy, heavy. Silver is gold is lighter, and silver is lighter than that. But gold and platinum and palladium, they're heavy as shit. Osmium is the heaviest thing, and that's part of the platinum group. I mean, yeah, like can you imagine 8 pounds holding up 8 pounds here? But I don't know if the metal makes a difference in the sound.
It might have some sort of tonal characteristics.
What about the crystal flute?
Ooh.
Yeah, that there's at least one because somebody was playing it. I don't know if it was Lizzo or somebody else, but I think it was Thomas Jefferson's.
Okay.
But it's a crystal flute. And
Yeah, but you'd think, okay, with the drummers, like with bigger drums and that, like a bunch more drums, it's a lot better than like smaller drums or something, like you say.
Depends on the sound you want from the drum.
Yeah,
What
that's
pitch are you looking for?
right. I mean, you just pull the drum head tight, and the diameter of it is whether, and or if you have something under it. I mean, I don't get your point.
I don't.
Well, take for example the drummer from Rush. Do you
Neil
think he
Peart?
overdid it with his drum kit?
No.
No, because he could use it.
Right.
Use it effectively.
And if you use every piece of it,
Yeah.
including the gong, that's
Yeah. It was warranted for what he did with his complex style.
it was like Roger Taylor with Queen, because at the end of Bohemian Rhapsody, he hits the gong. That's the only time they use it in any song. Mm-hmm. That's it. But he uses it.
Yes.
I don't know if you even hear it. The Imperial March from John Williams from Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
There's a piccolo in there and there's a triangle in there.
Yeah, full orchestra.
Yeah, I mean they use everything. And what's interesting, it's so martial and chopped sounding and staccato. And when you see them performing it, it's the same way. You see these very sharp movements from everybody in the orchestra. It's very cool.
Well, Don't Fear the Reaper has more cowbell.
Yeah. A good song.
Well, even like the soca that they used to whistle. You'd hear that from 25 years ago.
The what?
A whistle,
Yeah.
like a referee's whistle.
Oh, okay. Right. Right.
Oh, actually, the one with the P in it. Not the,
Now, on the subject of music, there's a new Rolling Stones album out.
Oh boy, there's only 3
What
of them
the-
left.
And critics around the world
Oh, there's four.
are saying that it's a very good album. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I haven't heard it yet, so I can't
Me
say.
neither.
But I would say like Charlie Watts, the drummer, is gone. Bill Wyman, the bassist, quit a long time ago. So
Oh.
now it's just like
Ronnie Wood.
Ron Wood, yeah, Mick
Jagger,
Jagger,
and Keith Richards.
Keith Richards. So it's
They're
like
all
3 of
robots.
them. We'd have to hear it. Maybe it is good.
Well, that was on a bumper on Canadian radio. Richard Simmons is dead and Keith Richards is still alive, so that means no more cardio for me.
That's right.
And what they do is they have guest musicians sit in on a lot of the songs. So one of the songs, Paul McCartney plays bass.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
so Daryl Jones isn't playing the bass on everything. That was a replacement for Wyman, the black guy. Daryl Jones.
I still think the best instrument that McCartney ever played guesting on a song was the kazoo.
Really?
Yeah, in You're 16.
Right.
So that's 50 years ago. That's 53 years ago.
I didn't know McCartney played the kazoo on it. That's very skillful kazoo playing.
Well, yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
can play any instrument.
That's true.
Did you hear about the Magical Mystery Tour coincidence?
No.
So McCartney, he's got a chauffeur. So he's sitting in the back seat. And they pull up right alongside in Liverpool the Magical Mystery Tour bus. And everybody's going like this. And you know what Paul McCartney does? He rolls down the window and he holds his phone to the people. He happened to be talking to Ringo.
Oh, wow.
And he says to them, "Look who's on the phone with me right now."
That's just kismet. That's serendipity. That is so cool.
Yeah.
See, I like some of these musicians that put the harmonica into their music too, like Blues Traveler and who's
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, and there was somebody else, Dave Matthews, I think.
Howlin' Wolf. Howlin' Wolf was great with the harmonica.
I can't even name one song by Howlin' Wolf.
Now there's a famous
Little Red Rooster.
There's the famous song by Rocky Erickson.
Yeah,
You're gonna
Roky.
miss me.
13th floor
A
elevators.
person is playing the jug where you blow across the.
Yeah.
Do you think that improves the quality of that song?
That's on all their songs. They always had the electric jug player,
It's
and they were known
different.
for it. It was weird. I don't know if it's not essential, but it's a weird dynamic in the background that's always present.
But if you make your sound, I mean, essential or not, every. What did was it Michelangelo who did the? Was it David or was it Pietà said I just took away the unnecessary stuff? But what's there is necessary, and so
Right.
each part, even if it seems like breaking glass, I mean, if that's part of your sound, that's what it is. You know, like sound design. So I can't say the jug doesn't belong there because that's part of the sound. It's ipso facto.
Well, I mean, let's say you're a producer. It's your job to tell the band what's working and what's not working.
But I was reading an article about this week about 5 people that couldn't stand working with Rick Rubin because
Yeah.
he's so laid back.
Yeah, I read that too.
You mean he lets anything go?
He just says, just do it.
He's not like a hands-on producer like Alan Parsons or something that actually twists the knob.
Yeah,
and
like
does
you're
all the
saying to say if it's
EQ.
good or not. He says, no, let's just do it. And then
Yeah.
when you're done,
He just
could-
gives
could
his
be better.
opinion. Yeah, basically.
But some people need more structure than that.
That's true.
Well,
yeah.
a lot of bands, they judge by how well the public relates to it.
Mhm.
So if the public doesn't like your song and then somebody does a remake and it's much more popular, you can blame the producer.
Yeah, you know, it's funny how like all these like these popular musicians pass away, their music gets more and more popular than ever. Like Michael Jackson, Kurt Cobain,
Roy Orbison.
or like Whitney Houston. All their people just flock to go buy their music again.
Well, that's the effect of when someone dies. That always happens.
Yeah, because it's it's perceived now. There's going to be a lack, so there's a rush on the music because they think they're dead. No more is coming out, so they buy it even though they just got to print more.
It
Yeah.
seems like they make more money when they're dead than they are.
Yeah,
alive.
there's that song "Paint a Vulgar Picture" by the Smiths. That's about that from the.
But do you
You know
know
that song?
who makes the most money?
Yeah.
Elvis.
Oh,
They bring in I don't know something like $50 or $100 million a year still.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So young Elvis or bloated fat Elvis?
I like the bloated one. He had really great bass lines in those later
Yeah,
songs.
but the bloated Elvis also died on the toilet.
He did. Didn't John
I don't want
Wayne
to
as
think of
well?
him like that.
Well,
He just did.
Darn it.
well, the thing, what I'm guessing is because of all the opiates, he's full of stool, so he's constipated, so he's pushing hard, which makes his vagal tone go up, which slows his heart down. That's what happens, like old people on the pot, because if you give them a shot of atropine, you save them. If you shock them, you've killed them. But that's why people, paramedics that don't know what they're doing, because I was one, but I knew what I was doing, so I can say this. I remember one guy would just shock everybody because what else could go wrong? Well, if that was something that was reversible, you just killed them. They say, they're dead, so I can't make them any deader. Well, yeah, you can. But yeah, and because that's just what happens, that the vagal tone or parasympathetic tone is like taking your foot off the brake. If you put your foot on the gas, it can go forward, but if you take your foot off the brake, you go slowly, but you still keep moving. It's the same thing. Or like turning off the AC or turning on the AC or turning the heat off. That they're... So that's what I guess happened to Elvis, but also in 77, Nashville EMS wouldn't even have existed at the time, so they wouldn't have known what they were doing. I mean...
They still won't let anybody go upstairs.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean at Graceland?
Yep.
Can't go upstairs. You can't go into the bathroom where it happened.
Probably. That's probably where everybody wants to go towards.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt people would take selfies on that toilet.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What I
This
say
is
to
where
that is,
Elvis
no
died.
shit. Okay, that's what I think.
That was the king's throne, since he's the king Elvis.
There'd be a
His
ton of
throne, yeah.
memes.
It's the
from
Ring
that.
of Honor.
How much could they charge for that?
Oh goodness! If they charge $100 for
People
10
would
seconds,
scoop it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You
Super
could probably
fans.
charge $500 for one selfie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like James Earl Jones said in Field of Dreams, the memories like fireflies, and you say just for $20 you can live all these, and people will give it easily. They'll give it freely. I mean, George Lucas said, if you blow something up, it's boring, but you make a whole story and then you blow it up, it has more effect. So that's what you do. You couch it in like nostalgia and history and warmth and whatnot, and it just costs you this little bit of money. And then no price is too much.
Yeah, nostalgia is a very effective tool.
So
Yeah.
let's see. Richard, you haven't had a topic yet. So do you want the What If history or the Birdcage cartoon? I'll give you your choice.
Well, which is more intriguing to you?
The What If history.
Okay, so the what if history. All right, let me tell you about this. Oh, you're going to have to see a video. Do you mind?
I don't mind.
Okay. So here's the story behind that. Now, Microsoft is promoting their version of AI. So, Mr. Windsor, can you look up the Microsoft YouTube of AI? What if the founding fathers had AI?
Oh boy.
Now, we don't have to play the sound because it's just music.
No, you probably shouldn't because of copyright.
And then and then we'll get nailed by the robot. But if you could just play the images,
Yeah.
I would like you to watch this video and tell me if, okay, look what Microsoft just did. Are they helping the cause of AI or hurting it with this commercial?
Before I even see it, I'll say garbage in, garbage out.
Sounds like they're hurting it.
You think they're hurting it?
I gotta see
Yeah.
it. Well, I
Okay.
can't judge yet.
And Vanessa is suspending judgment.
Snap
Because
judgment.
there's so many YouTube videos of like, this is what the president, like George Washington, would look like now, or
Right.
all these old presidents, and it's like, come on now, you're overdoing this.
Well, what our current president said about all the airplanes in the revolution,
Yeah.
he said that in his first term. Something about that.
Closing the airports.
Or
He said the first thing the British did is they closed the airports.
You know, most of our the old presidents that are dead, they look like bones.
well, that's like that joke. If Abraham Lincoln was alive today, what would he be doing? Desperately scratching at the inside of his coffin.
He'd still be wearing his hat too.
Probably not, because he was 6'4". That wouldn't fit in the casket.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I will give Mr. Windsor some help here.
Aidez-moi!
Didn't he have-
Aidez-moi!
Didn't he have Klinefelter syndrome or something? That's part why he was
No,
like so tall?
no,
Someone
he
told
had
me
kids.
that.
No, he couldn't have Klinefelters because he had kids.
Oh, okay, right.
Richard Nixon stole the casket too, but he's not a crook.
Stole what casket? Lincoln's casket?
His casket. His own
That,
casket.
there was an article in Mitch McConnell's home newspaper this week. It was his pre-obituary. And the person who wrote it said, I've known him for 40 years, and he said, at least Nixon owned up to his sins, and Mitch never did.
Right.
Like, I still hold Mitch. Mitch is the person why we don't have Merrick Garland on the Supreme Court. But that's also part of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She waited too long, and Joe Biden waited too long. They should have said, you know what, it's time to retire, like Anthony Kennedy and David Souter.
And didn't they squawk like at the end when Obama could have appointed somebody and then they made him wait?
Yeah, that was
That was like bad.
that was Merrick Garland.
Yeah. That was
Even though they pushed Amy Coney Barrett through in 3 weeks,
Yep.
he said there's a year to go, and so we can't put somebody on the court now.
the Democrats have been making mistakes with like timing. Like Merrick Garland, if you think about it, with like when Joe Biden was in power, when they were supposed to go after
Okay,
Trump.
I found it. So let me
Okay.
show you. Let me show
Okay.
you how this thing goes. And let's see here. I think. Oh, Tom, you got to flip me over to Vin 9, okay? There we go. Okay, so where are we, Tom? Put it on. There we go.
Oh.
Okay, so he's the Declaration of Independence, and he gets a text message.
Oh.
He tells AI to transcribe it, and then all the other people who are in the chain, they start making changes to the Declaration of Independence. Then they put it on their schedules as to when they're going to formally meet. And then the ones who can't make it, they show up on Zoom.
Oh,
I like the turkey.
but also, isn't this
That should be the bird.
over beers? Sam Adams over beers.
Oh boy.
And the ones who can't make it, they sign it over that e-sign program.
Oh. Oh boy.
Now, I just watched 17.
Oh, does that hurt or help the cause of AI?
People will take that as gospel truth. That's the problem. Not realizing that it's completely, phony. They'll say, wow, they really had that and they did that?
Do you think some of them will say it would have been better if they had it?
Well, I just watched 1776 again this week, and that they had that right there about the inalienable versus unalienable. That was a point of contention in the play.
Yeah.
Saying, no, Jefferson said it's inalienable, and Adams said, no, it's un. And they were like, so
Yeah.
that was a subtle nod to that there.
And they didn't have Webster's dictionary yet, right? So they couldn't consult.
Yeah, no, Webster didn't do that to
No,
the mid
Yeah,
Yeah, they
that
didn't
was
have
later.
spell check back then.
Yeah.
The art versus AI, who will win? I don't think that they're not opposing. AI will take all the art and then make its own, and it'll be better than anything man ever did.
Yeah, they get the Mona Lisa to talk.
Why would you want the Mona Lisa?
I
to
don't
talk?
know. I've never heard her talk.
Of course not. She's a painting.
It's for one, it's painted on wood, and for two, it's very small.
yeah.
So what's your decision now that you've seen it?
Well, I think with certain people, it will make them see AI more favorably.
How does it make you feel?
I don't feel it doesn't sway my
Either way?
opinion either way.
How
It's just
about
a
you,
clever
Rob?
ad.
Me neither. It doesn't really sway my opinion too, because it is what it is. AI is what AI is.
Do you know that there are clubs now appearing on university campuses that you join so you can detox from social media?
Oh.
So in other words, when you go into the club, you have to put your cell phone in a locked thing, and you have to go and you actually have to sit and talk to people for a certain amount of time to get used to knowing what it's like. So there is this movement that would say that it's bad to romanticize the past like that. See, because they didn't have AI, and it might mess with their minds if they did. If they had all these phones at the time of the American Revolution.
That's another thing I was reading about this week. 200 years ago, life was aching, painful, and dirty.
And short.
People had fleas and they had ringworm and they were itching all the time. Yeah, and they didn't have clean water. And
Yeah, I saw this ad. It had like an old ad, and it had a guy with like this net. It looked like a cage, like a net around his head, sleeping, so the flies wouldn't get him while he was sleeping.
Wow.
I wish I would have put that in the image bank. I was like,
Well, there's a book that came out this year called Educated. Did you hear about this book?
I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
It's a fascinating book because this woman, she was born and raised in the mountains of Idaho with her parents who were preppers.
Okay.
And they were prone to conspiracy theories that the whole country's going to fall into chaos, and we've got to be prepared. See, so, and don't trust doctors, don't trust hospitals. It's the kind of thing that if you want, you can figure it out on your own. So she was raised in that, and she escaped at age 18 and went into the city. Right? So she was homeschooled her whole life, and luckily they were such a big believer in Scripture that you've got to learn to read, and you've got to know all the words in the Bible. You got to have a highly literate mind. So here she is in a city with this highly literate mind, no knowledge of science, no knowledge of philosophy, no knowledge of mathematics. And she says, I want to get educated. So what she did is she went and this works with a lot of universities. If you go to them with a hard luck story, a lot of times they will let you in. And that was the big scandal that was happening, where rich families were getting professional writers to write a hard luck story for their kid so they could get into Harvard. So anyway, she was allowed in. And the whole book is about the trouble you will have if you have this kind of unorthodox upbringing. But she did it. Not only did she do it, she got her bachelor's, and then she applied to Cambridge University in England to go there to get her master's and her PhD, and they let her in, and she got it. She got it. So it can be done.
Well, I was reading about this week too, about Nathaniel Green of history. He was they said he was the best tactical mind, the second best general the U.S. had besides George Washington in the Revolutionary War. He grew up Quaker, and you know what the Quakers at that time did? They leaned against teaching their kids how to read. They were anti-education 250 years ago.
Wow.
Sounds like MAGA.
Well, if you burn the books, Fahrenheit 451, you can't read a book that's burnt.
Right.
And so, we got 1 minute left. The new season of Strange New Worlds is on, and the first episode was knock down, drag out, great. I mean, because they get thrown back 65 million years. So that's all I'm going to say. I mean, this is remarkable. I mean, it's speculative history, and it is so cool. Okay, so let's see. We got 45 seconds left. So why can dinosaurs not clap their hands? Because they're all extinct.
Oh, it's great.
Okay, so we're drawing to a close, y'all. Thanks for any viewers that are there. If you want, have any comments, you can either put them on our socials, especially on Facebook or YouTube. And if you have my number, you can text me. Let's see. We have 10 seconds left. Robbie.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Okay. 5 seconds.
Me?
Yeah.
That's my camera.
You have two.
Gopsamnida.
You have 1 second left.
There.
Okay. So, Richard, you get the last 5 seconds.
Shout out to Adair.
Oh,
You were invited last week and you were invited this week, but you did not respond.
okay. Well, have a great week.